Know that your muscle is made up of two parts. One is the fiber, and the other is the nutrients that this fiber needs. If you want to do bodybuilding to train your strength or to increase your muscle mass, you should know that there is a big difference between these workouts. For muscle building, we call it sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, and for strength building, we call it myofibrillar hypertrophy. In today's video, I'm going to tell you how you would train to gain mass or to gain strength. Before you start, subscribe to the channel and leave a like to stay on top of the fitness world and learn everything you need to get healthy and get more results from your workouts. Here we go. We often go to the gym just to get stronger, to build more muscle, and to do that, we need to increase fiber and fluids. Many people are misled into thinking that lifting weights will not only produce hypertrophy, but also more strength. You should know that hypertrophy always occurs together, but we can optimize for both types of training. Our bodies adapt to different situations, so if you stimulate the fiber, your muscles will grow. But as we can see, there are power lifters who lift very heavy weights but have small muscles. A good example is Anatoly, a guy who lifts heavy weights easily and who other people would judge before trying to lift just because he doesn't seem to have the physique for it. Other people with much more muscle will work much harder to lift the same weight because they have trained to increase their muscle, not their strength. Powerlifting is a sport dedicated to lifting heavy weights for as long as possible, as opposed to bodybuilding, which is dedicated to having bigger, more beautiful muscles. Strength training is very different from bodybuilding. You will gain mass, but the focus is different. The first point is to do 3 to 5 low reps, focusing on using a lot of force and stimulating the fibers more. A strength workout must have a rest period of 2 to 3 minutes, sometimes longer. Remember that it's a completely different type of training. You'll have more load, fewer repetitions, and you'll have an absurd stimulus for the fibers. Another great thing about strength training is that you don't go to failure. When you go to failure, you exhaust that muscle. It doesn't have the strength to do the next set. So the idea is to keep the muscle at that high load, which is why there are so few repetitions. Coaches often recommend that athletes do explosive strength exercises. Even if you see someone doing a heavy bench press or deadlift and the movement appears slow because of the weight, in the athlete's mind, the movement is being performed quickly and explosively. This is because the brain is sending an intense stimulus that connects all the muscle fibers involved. If the mental stimulus is weak, such as thinking, "I can go slow," the muscle won't fully connect. Therefore, the mental stimulus should be, lift the bar as fast as you can. This type of stimulus is critical for strength training, which requires a careful, structured approach known as periodization. Periodization involves the precise adjustment of loads and percentages over time, making strength training planning very delicate. In addition, those who train for strength can't afford a restrictive diet. The goal is to stimulate the muscle to grow stronger, and to do that, nutrients must be available. For this reason, many powerlifters tend to have a more rugged physique because their bodies require an abundance of nutrients. On the other hand, hypertrophy training, which focuses on increasing muscle mass, involves a variety of repetitions. During a workout, you may use fewer repetitions at one time and more repetitions at another to diversify the muscle stimuli. Rest intervals also vary, being shorter at some times and longer at others, depending on the intensity and number of repetitions. In hypertrophy training, the idea of reaching muscle failure, doing repetitions until you can't do anymore, is valid, but not at every moment of the workout. Periodization for hypertrophy is more flexible, constantly adjusting training parameters as opposed to the more rigid periodization of strength training. Another important difference between strength and hypertrophy training is the type of exercises and the way they are performed. Strength training emphasizes compound exercises such as squats, deadlifts, and bench presses because they recruit multiple muscle groups and allow you to lift heavier loads. In addition to compound exercises, hypertrophy training emphasizes isolated exercises such as barbell curls and lateral raises, which target specific muscles to promote more balanced and aesthetic growth. The execution technique also differs between the two workouts. Strength training focuses on moving the weight safely and efficiently, often with explosive speed to maximize muscle fiber activation. In contrast, Hypertrophy training emphasizes continuous tension and time under tension, where movements are performed in a controlled manner to maximize muscle fatigue and promote growth. In addition, the frequency and distribution of the workouts may differ. A strength program may involve fewer sessions per week, with an emphasis on large lifts and adequate recovery between sessions. A hypertrophy program, on the other hand, can be divided into workouts for specific parts of the body throughout the week, allowing for a greater volume of training for each muscle group. Understanding the differences between strength and hypertrophy training is critical to achieving your goals in the gym. Each type of training requires a specific approach in terms of repetitions, loads, and rest periods, as well as an appropriate diet to support muscular stimulation. Training in an intelligent and structured way will allow you to optimize your results, whether you're looking to gain strength or increase muscle mass. Now that you have a clear picture of these two types of training, choose the one that best suits your goals and start training more efficiently. And if you want to increase your muscle mass, check out this video on 10 hypertrophy exercises that will help you gain mass. Subscribe to the channel and see you next time.